You too. Back at it again with another one, family. Another episode of Hashtag Screws Kitchen, Hashtag Screws Tube. You already know the vibes. Stick around. So to kick this off, you're going with a pot of boiling water, right? You want to bring a pot of water to a rolling boil, right? Then to this, we add about a half a pound of saltfish, aka salt cod, right? It's codfish, salted for preservation. Long story long, right? So the way I like to do it is when I add my saltfish to the rolling boiling water, I turn it down about halfway and cover it and let that boil for about a half an hour. Then I pour that water off and then start the process all over again. Boil it twice. All right, you could do it as long as you want, however you like to do it. Just make sure you get all that salt out. Now, part two of the main ingredients, that we have a tin of ackee, right? You want to make sure it's authentic Jamaican ackee. You get me? Definition for ackee is right here. You can look it up on your own as well. Right, but what you want to do is you want to take the ackee, drain off all the brine, the liquid, and then rinse it off also, right? Because you kind of really want to get that brine out.
Little longer than a few minutes later.
Now here we come back to the saltfish, right? Now as you can see, this is beginning to flake up and break apart a little bit. And that's because this is the second time I'm boiling it. Now, obviously it's cooked already, so just taste it. Taste a little piece to see if it's too salty for you or if it's just right. Obviously, if it's too salty, boil it again. You get me? Now here we come with our aromatics, our flavoring, our seasoning, right? So we have some tomato, red pepper, yellow pepper, onion, scotch bonnet, green pepper, and thyme. Now what we do here is we just add it to a pot of oil. Not too much oil. I don't like too much oil in my ackee and saltfish. That's up to you. It's a personal preference. But we bring this up to about a medium-high heat. And we just, let these saute for a bit. Now I'm taking my time putting this into the pan because I should have used a bigger pan, but I started with this one already, so, made it work. But like I said, we just saute these for a little bit and come right back to it in a few. Like I always tell people, be very wary of bursting the scotch bonnet, because if you don't like heat too much, then please be careful of it. Me, I don't mind at all, but just for caution, don't burst it, right? So now after about 5 minutes or so, veggies are sauteed a little bit. As you can see, the wisps of smoke coming off it. Going with some Maggi fish seasoning. Now all you need for the Maggi, honestly, is about a tablespoon or so. You don't need anything more than that. You can even go teaspoon with it, right? Because it's salty already and we're gonna add this saltfish in it, so you don't have salt on top of salt, you get me? But just for a little bit of flavor, we add the Maggi, and then we add in about a quarter cup of water, and then we just let that steam for like another 5-10 minutes or so. Depending on your heat, if you're regulating it the proper way, about 7 minutes. So after about 7 minutes or so, as you can see, the vegetables have become softer. They've reduced in size and everything like that. So now we come in and we add in our saltfish. Right, as you can see, you could break it up into whatever size you prefer, right? I like mine fine to run through the whole thing. So, I use the saltfish as more like a seasoning more than, like the focal point of it. But it's always there, but it's just spread throughout, if that makes sense to you. Right, so now after we add in our saltfish and we start to, incorporate it throughout the whole thing, then we go for our ackee. Now, me personally, when I add in my ackee, I take time with it because I don't want it to break up and become like grain in the pot. You get me? So I just really take my time and incorporate it all the way through so it can stay intact, like keep the thing whole. Some people ask, what does ackee taste like? To me, it just tastes like ackee. Some people say it tastes like eggs, and I believe because of the texture and the color of it, it's more familiar to people so they can readily identify it. But it has a mild taste. At the end of the day, it's a fruit, so it's not fruity though. It tastes like ackee, man. Try it, trust me. This is honestly good for any time of the day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you want brunch, can't call it brunch, whatever, like any time of the day this is good. I guarantee you. Anybody that ever had ackee can attest to this. If you ever had ackee and saltfish before, make sure you drop a like and a comment. Please and thanks. You know what I mean? But so here we are towards the end of the dish. All we do is add in a little bit of black pepper, and off camera I added just a touch of oil. Cover the pot about 7 minutes, and that's it, folks. You know, appreciate y'all each and every week coming to check in with me. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. You know, I'll catch y'all next time. Bless.